Hello everyone and welcome to another week and another episode of the Anime Cavalcade, the podcast where we talk about anime weekly, we watch anime weekly, and we talk about a bunch of anime that exhaust me, that exhaust me so. Now, of course, we are back to our normal, well, I say normal, our normal is usually 10, that might change in the future, but we are back to talking about just 12 episodes because, of course, the finale for Taco P's Original Sin has ended. It's sad to see it go, even though it was only here for like 2 weeks. Regardless or not, it's going to help a little bit not having a bunch of one extra anime to review. But with that being said, we got a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff to talk about. This week wasn't as emotional as last week. I did get some emotional bits. I'm not gonna say I didn't. I did get some emotional bits, but not as emotional as last week, where we were all over the place with the anger and the sadness and the crying and there was a lot of crying last week. There was so much crying last week. But we are back in our grind. We are back in our mode. We are back on our movement speed. Nah, we're back on the motion of things. So how about let's just jump right into it, stop the rambling, and let's talk about all the anime that we have this week. And of course, the first episode that we're going to talk about, or the first anime we're going to be talking about, is the Dandadan episode, which this was such a fun episode. But also, apparently it got into a little bit of controversy, which we will talk about later. But basically, the first half of this episode starts where we left off with Gigi getting a little bit of the soy sauce, which was the cold water, splashed onto him, and so it created the whole explosion, the whole house got destroyed, and so everyone was just like, okay, listen, we can't keep doing this is bad. And I guess the Hayashis that Seiko called came, and they are apparently, okay, for I actually don't know what I can say. I don't want to say that's what they are, but they have a very inspired 80s aesthetic, which again leads on to, other things that happened with this episode. But they have a very 80s aesthetic. They have the whole like big rock hairstyle, and one of the people I love the fact that like all of them have like the makeup and like the big hair and like the big 80s, like, hairspray, like fluffy hair. And then there's one dude that he just looks like Weird Al. There's one dude that just looks like Weird Al, and it is the best. It's so cool. I love the juxtaposition so much. But the idea behind this, sorry there. I don't know what happened. My audio, my dude started, the avatar started acting up. Yeah, okay, that should help a little bit more. So basically, they all came, and the way that they work is that they themselves, they can't sense spiritual energy. I don't think they can really see ghosts, and I don't think that they can like actually be manipulated by ghosts. But that makes them the perfect Hayashi, because I guess in this world, not Hayashis, but people who can't see ghosts don't really get affected by ghosts, which I don't think is very consistent. I'd have to think about it a little more, but I think we've had possession in the show where people who didn't have spiritual powers were possessed. Maybe I'm wrong about that, because the only two that I think about is Ira and Gigi, and yes, I remembered her name. I remember Pink Girl's hair's name, which I'm very happy about. But I guess that's true because Ira did get a little bit of that energy from the Okaruun Golden Balls, and Gigi already has like a significant pour of energy, so I guess that's true. I can't think of anybody else, but like I guess that's consistent. But anyways, they're probably some of the best Hayashi because they can't get affected or get possessed properly. But what can happen is that their sound is so strong. Their sound is so strong that apparently it can like affect the spirits around them and like pull them out from like wherever they are. Which we see that in the most like metal 80s way possible. First of all, the song is a banger. If you haven't seen the song is great. And they do something that actually I rarely ever see dubs and subs ever do, because usually when they add like a song for an anime, usually it's just it's like one type of language. Either it's an English song that is sung in both English in both the dub and sub, or there is like a Japanese song or whatever language song. Basically, if there's a song in a certain language, it's never like converted. And to an extent, I can accept that if they're trying to do what they're trying to do. Like if somebody is Russian and they sing a Russian song, like in the anime, I think it's appropriate to keep it Russian and not just switch it over to Japanese or English, because it's one of those things where it's like, you should probably keep the integrity of the song, which is one of the things I've always assumed. But it seems like that this was a original song for the anime, so what they did is that they have a dub version and they have a sub version for the song. So I had to watch that both back. Honestly, both are really good. Both are really good. If you actually like take the chance to listen to both of them all the way through. I did, because I'm extra and I like to give the best of my analysis. So yeah, that's what they did, and I was more than happy to watch both of them twice, because they start playing and you see all the ghosts around the area just hear this sound and get drawn out. And the best thing about it is that they basically start a whole crowd. It's amazing. And you do see Okaru and Ira and Momo, they start rocking out too, and it's just like, oh, this is awesome. Dude, even I started haymaking for a little bit. I was there and I was like, dude, this song? Fucking fire. I need to find out what the song is, because I need to add it into my playlist, because it was genuinely good. But with all that happening and Gigi starting to get his exorcism, Gigi finally explains the fact that, oh yeah, the evil eye, he's not really evil. He just wants somebody to play with. And I promised I'd give him that, and I promised I wouldn't kill him. Which goes along with, which is one of those things where I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, you probably do have a soft spot for spirits, but also this is the evil eye. He seems like he's quite a powerful spirit. And while he does have some baggage, I feel like this is one of those moments where you kind of need to be like, I get it. Although I will say, I think it was more for Gigi's sake rather than the actual evil eye's sake. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, she saved, she's keeping Turbo Granny around, not for Turbo Granny, but for Okaru. But I don't even know that either, because Turbo Granny and Psycho have also gotten pretty close over the around the course of season 1. So I don't even know completely around that. But then that all ends, and then the second half of the episode is just watching how all of Gigi, Ira, Momo, and Okaru interact with each other on a day-to-day basis. Now that all four of them are living in like the same house, and we have this little moment where everyone's just like not waking up quietly, but it's the middle of the night, obviously, and so they're just like quietly walking around and stuff like that. Gigi and Okaru have like a cute little moment. Ira and Momo are also just fighting, but that happens before this scene. One of my favorite moments though is Okaru wakes up and he hears that Gigi's in the bathroom, and Gigi's like, see, what I thought was gonna happen was, it's so stupid. What I thought was gonna happen was, I thought the evil eye was gonna come out again, because sometimes when you go to the bathroom, a little bit of water can splash back. And then not just poop, but sometimes when like you flush and you gotta, I have a weird amount of toilet knowledge, so just bear with me for a second. But there are like low flow toilets and there are high flow toilets. And there are high flow toilets that have a really strong water pressure. And sometimes with that water pressure, if you kind of have a small bowl, sometimes it tends to it's time to splash back up you, because the high pressure can be intense. That's why you have to go ahead and get a bigger bowl if you have a high pressure, because that way you get like better circulation and you don't have your water spilling up. Because if that's the case, sometimes mold could happen under the seat, or that happens if there's like too much water for flush back. Listen, I have way too much like toilet knowledge, okay? But sometimes when that happens, like the water could splash up a little bit when you flush if you got a powerful enough toilet. And what I thought was going to happen was his butt was going to get kind of wet. But no, it was a lot more wholesome than that. It was a lot more wholesome than that. Where in this situation, Okaru's just talking how like, oh yeah, Psycho helped me out and I wanted to repay her, but she said no, just pay it forward to someone else. So that's what Okaru's doing with Gigi, with wanting to help Gigi take care of the evil eye and stuff like that. But yeah, we see them interact. There's a really funny scene I love a lot. I said it before. I said I loved it. I keep trying to bring it up, but when they're in the bathroom and you just see Momo just open the door slightly while she's tired and not able to sleep, because Ira is snoring like a beast. Valid. I go through that as well. Not the Momo part. I just snore probably as loud as Ira, unfortunately. and she's looking at Gigi and Okaroon and just making sure it's just like, I can't tell if she was like, are things okay? Or a sense of like, you know, if like being like, oh, I'm in pain. And Okaroon, and without saying anything, just give a thumbs up. And then Momo also gives a thumbs up and just slides the door. I don't know why I found that funny. It just was to me. I sat there and I'm just like, I love these guys. And we see it more. Like they're all getting ready for school. We see Ira's routine of her being, you know, the pretty girl getting ready and stuff like that. We see Momo and all of them having breakfast. Oh, it was so cute because I guess Gigi can't go to school right now with the way he is. So he's seeing Ira, Momo, and Okaroon off. And you just see him as they're all leaving. Him just being so, like, happy and excited to be like, bye guys, bye, have a great day at school, be safe. Gigi is Gigi is such a warm soul, dude. I love him so much. But now, we get more into the personal stuff with Dandadan, like, the more, like, non-spooky, but character development stuff, where Momo's trying to get a part-time job, and I think Ira's trying to get one too, but she's just off to herself. But again, I'm glad that we have Momo's friends integrated into this series, just not overwhelmingly to where they become a problem, but they're just there in like a good way. Now that makes me assume that they might get some sort of possession very soon. Maybe it's a potential. It's a potential because they're now being shown a bit too heavily for me to not assume they won't get involved in some type of ghost stuff. But you know, man, these girls did both of them dirty because obviously they tell her, oh yeah, you should get a side job at this place, and then they tell Okaroon that, oh, you shouldn't wait up for Momo. She's gonna do a side job, and so instead of Okaroon going home, they just drag her to the cheese shop where it's like, oh, welcome home, master. And now Momo, now that all three of them are there, along with Okaroon, and Momo's working at that cafe, now Momo has to act like that the whole next episode. The whole next episode is just going to be that. It's just going to be that, and it's going to be funny. It's going to be funny, and I'm going to love it all. So yeah, that's where we are with Dandadan. Fairly okay episode. Honestly, it made it a lot better with the musical part. I really like that part. But yeah, it's a fairly okay episode of the big boy. It was a fairly okay episode. I liked it a lot. It was good. It's fun. Music, great. Character development, great. It's what I expect from Dandadan at this point. Next on our list, we have City the Animation, and I need to make a correction. Actually, before I say that, let me properly check and let me double check everything before I say anything. Okay, yeah. So I just needed to make sure, just in case I messed up, but I did. So this has to do with City the Animation and new Panty and stocking. And this is all just an Amazon Prime thing because sometimes Amazon Prime is weird with the way they put out stuff. Kind of annoys me. But basically, what happened was I put down episode 5 for the last episode of stuff, which was not right and very, very wrong. So this upcoming one is episode 5. The past one was episode 4. I changed it in the description, and I've changed it, I think, and hopefully in the timestamps with the other videos, but obviously I can't change it in the video. So if you watch the last episode and you see this episode, it's episode 4. I fucked up. It's episode 5 this week, so apologies. But we are back on track now with episode 5, and we get a main Tom, boy, girl. I really need to remember people's names for this show, but we actually get like a pretty like concentrated story. Okay, well, actually, I say concentrated, but boy, oh boy, did I both like and was slightly annoyed by this episode. I did enjoy it a lot. First of all, they do this little like, I don't want to say stop motion. Stop motion is the wrong word. I think it was just like a live action, but like city town made like fake city thing. Fuck, I don't know what you would call it animation wise, but like if it looked like they made like a fake city but in real life and recorded it to parallel how the anime looked, which was really, 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 really good. Funny enough, the only anime that has done that so far that I've watched similarly is in fact New Panty and Stocking, where New Panty and Stocking, anytime they defeat a ghost of some sort in like the way, right? Because like there's some ways where they defeat ghosts and it's a little bit more over the top than usual or less over the top because it's like the cat ghost. But with City D Animation, they did this really cool thing with like, again, it's not stop motion, but like it mixed in so well with the actual animation. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is awesome. And then the whole story revolved around them getting the main tomboy character getting kidnapped alongside the super nice dude, and they're at the hospitality tower where they and they make hospitality seem like such a bad thing. The whole point is, if you do something good, this rich family who I guess also has somebody that's in like the police force keeping track of everybody who does good things. If you do a good thing, you get captured, and then there's like a bridge that gets made to the second tower, and then you go down that tower and you just get overwhelmed with a bunch of hospitality things. But if you don't want that, and you're able to find the secret entrance on the first tower, that's on the 12th floor, then you have to go through all the bosses that if you like fail, then you have to get brought back up. You gotta get brought back up to the tower. Now, I do not blame the tomboy main character for this, where they got kidnapped and they didn't know what to do, because it's like, okay, cool, I'm giving all these cool amenities, but also I got kidnapped. And so when you find an entrance, it's like, okay, cool, yeah, first initial thing, escape, because I don't know. But then once the old guy starts explaining what happens, because he's been through it like 3 times now, then the main character's like, then the main tomboy character's like, oh yeah, that sounds great. I want to go through that. I like that, right? Only to find out that the door is stuck because someone else is there. And not only that is someone else there, now the other girl who was like the photographer girl is there with them because she climbed the tower and it tries to escape, and it's like, what the fuck? So I do not blame her for getting mad, because I would also get mad. I'm just like, you need to tell me that I could have been showered with a bunch of hospitality and good food and massages, and I gotten a trophy for being just a nice civilian, and you robbed that away from me because, oh, well, it's too much for you to do. Bitch, I want that. I want that. Bro, I would, you know what? Even if it was a bad situation, at a certain point, you have to at least enjoy the amenities, right? Like, I don't know, like, on what level of bad would I accept staying there with, like, because the place that they were at, it had, like, a nice bath, and it had, like, a hot spring on the top floor of the 12th floor, mind you, and, like, you could eat all you want, you could drink all you want, you know, all this good stuff. And so at a certain point, right, at what point do you just kind of sit there and you're like, I think I'm just going to enjoy this before I actually go away? Because I feel like that makes the most sense, right? You would just enjoy it for a little bit before you actually have to go. I feel like that's an okay thing to do. But of course, they have to go through all these trials, and we get a good visual of the first 2 trials, where the first one is a magician, but it's a magician that he just self-destructs in like the worst way possible. And he's just like, well, I have no more tricks because all of them were destroyed. You can just go ahead. And the girl who's trying to fail, because if you fail the challenges, you are forced to go back up and enjoy the hospitality. So they keep going. So she sits there, she's like, fucking hell. And then the second one, which honestly, it was my favorite one that I saw, was, I guess it was like some girl who was like, oh, you have to, I'm going to challenge you at like mathematician or something like that. And she's just like, oh, it's a math. Jesus Christ. I'm not even going to like purposely fail this. I just don't understand it. But then there's another girl who comes in who I think we've seen before. She might be in either a similar class or something like that. She looks very familiar. But she spits up water trying to challenge for the 10th floor spot. And then the girl who currently has the 10th floor spot, they do some wrestling spots where the girl who comes in does a crossbody, catches her, and does a fucking, I'm not even joking, it's a tombstone pile driver. Like think, if for all my wrestling fans out there, think Undertaker pile driver. Think like Kane, like the big red monster Kane pile driver. Like head between the legs, like propped up a little bit and just like directly on the head. Not like, you know, not the safe version bump, right? Not Canadian destroyer or Mexican destroyer. No sunset flip. Not like that at all. No, just straight up two-slow pile driver directly after the head. It was just like, oh my god. I'm like, wow, that they really did go for it. But they have like a little lovey-dovey moment where it's like, oh, I'm sorry I tried to take your spot. And it's like, I'm sorry, I was so conceited. And they just go. And it's just like, what the fuck? Now this for me here is when I got a little tiny bit kind of like, what the fuck? So I get what they were trying to do. It feels like somebody watched my podcast and took the best lessons from that episode, I think 2 weeks ago, and made last week's episode, which was really entertaining. And then someone watched my episode from last week and saw how much that flipped me back to liking the show and was like, oh, this is a really good show. I really like what they did with this episode. They really crossed over stuff. And thought I wanted more of that. So what we got was like a 8-layer split screen of all the stories happening. Now, at first, I was fine with it. Because then we flipped back to like our other main girl who lost her locket the last episode, still trying to find it, all while this like Pokemon style trial thing is going on in the corner. And I thought that was a cute bit because it's like, oh, it's like a double screen, like we're looking at everything. It's like how much just to show us the little thing of what they're going through. We even get like a point where that girl and the tomboy girl are both talking, being like, oh, I'm at the tower, I need your help. I'm like, oh, I don't give a fuck. And she sees the tower, right? They take the premise, I think, a bit too far, where, I shit you not, like, again, I like when stuff cross over, I like seeing the stories interact, but to a certain extent, I don't need 8 different stories happening on screen. Because at one point, I shit you not, at one point, we get the main story in the tower, the other story with the girl trying to find her locket. We get to see the two high school girls who are interacting, doing the little quirky thing. The one who's like moving but hasn't told her yet. We get a story with the soccer team. We get to see the old lady that we saw for the previous episode, who we find out is a boss at the first floor or the second floor. We get a story of the butler doing something. We go back to the ramen shop that we got in the first episode. Like, it does all these stories all at the same time on screen. And at a certain point, I just stopped caring. I think at a certain point, I just got on my phone and I'm like, okay, well, this is dubbed. Thank God. Because I'm not going to lie. If this was subbed, I would have just zoned the fuck out. I would have been like, oh my... I would have been like, I can't handle this. This is a lot. And it's not like an overstimulation thing. I'm not someone that gets overstimulated. I mean, in the right places. Okay, but in all seriousness, I'm not someone that gets like overstimulated like that. Like, it takes a lot for me to actually get overstimulated. But like, that hit like a point where I was like, I'm not overstimulated. I just don't care. You know what I mean? There was just a point where I sat there like, I just do not actually care. Like, at all. Like, whatsoever. Like, I was just like, okay. Like, we're doing a lot here. Where we're sitting here looking at all this shit. I do not care about half the things that are happening right now. Like, I don't. I really don't. Like, I do like all the individual stories when we focus on the individual stories. But you're giving me, like, 8 different stories on screen? Brother, give me, like, 2 at a time. Do something like that. But the most I could take is probably 4. That's about it. 4. But you gave me like 8 or 9. That was a lot. And then also at the same time, now I say that, but there was also a cute premise, and I only sat there because I know what it was trying to do. Where like they go to the tower, they finally get out. The old lady that's with them goes with them because it's like, oh well, I don't give a shit. And so we find out that the hospitality thing was at the end of the tower because it was just a whole big festival thing for the whole city for a hospitality thing, and it does this thing where I think it lingered on it a bit too long, but we basically see not the whole city, but a good chunk of the city, like, at this barbecue thing. And they do it where it's, like, all these, like, little bubbles floating on screen, and we see each individual person. And I thought that was cool style-wise, because it was slowly building up everybody that was there. Now, it took a really, really long time. And I was like, okay, we're kind of sitting on our ass here a little bit. I don't know if you did this for runtime, but you could have definitely done this a bit quicker to give me a more satisfying reveal. Because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I see what you're doing. But once I found out, then I was just kind of like waiting. Because I was just like, it was the same thing of just like, okay, now we're just doing too much, and now I just don't care at all. But whatsoever. And so, like, we got the whole thing. It was nice to see. There was just times where I just went in and out of interest for this episode. And I was just like, oh, God. Jesus. Okay. Fuck. We do eventually get back to the focus of our three main girls. Or they're eating. She hasn't found the locket yet. But my guess was right. The locket does have a picture of the tomboy girl back when they were both in high school. So my assumption was right about that. This episode was a lot. It was cool, it was fun, but it also was a lot. I think the thing I would say is that it's doing too much. I think that's the like appropriate thing I would say, is that this is doing too much. Next up on the docket of anime that we got this week is, of course, Sakamoto Days, which I think we're on episode 16, 15, whatever the newest episode is of a recording. The one that came out. Not the newest one, but the newest one of this recording, which is a Saturday. Which is a Saturday, just so you know. That's when it is. Jesus Christ. You know, I will say it, I still have my problems with this. Basically, this is my thing, right? With the last two anime that I've talked about, right? Dandadan and the City D animation. Those animes, they have a lot to talk about, right? They have a lot to break down. They have a lot to discuss. I can explain this. With this, the problem I think I've learned with Sakamoto Days is that, like, it looks cool, but it just lacks a lot of substance. Because I could genuinely just tell you what happened in like a few sentences. Sakamoto fights a villain. Villain gets sad backstory. I resonated with the backstory. Sakamoto beats the crap out of him. Gets some help from the order. Brings him back. Converts him to being kind of good. Dude tells him all the information, and his goon goes to the J, and it ends there. And I feel like I could add that. While it is bare bones, I feel like you kind of get the gist. Like, obviously, there's a bit more that I can explain in detail. Maybe I'm being unfair. Maybe I am being unfair in that point, but it's just one of those things where I sit there and I'm just like, hey, you kind of got the gist of it there. Obviously, I'm going to go more in detail. This is not going to be like a 30-second, like, yeah, this is Sakamoto Days, whatever. Because there are some things that I can't comment on it. I am being kind of bitchy in this regard. But also at the same time, if someone gave me that, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I gotta get it. I will say, though, there are some things that I do appreciate that this episode did. First off, addressing the fact that the plan for these villains was actually never supposed to be for, like, a long-term thing. Like, they were always supposed to be something that was supposed to be, like, a short part. Which, honest to God, I actually kind of appreciate. Because it makes me feel better about them being bodied so fast. Because then now it's just like, because I sat there, I'm like, oh, we're not going to give development to some of these guys? Like, only one of them has development, and now I see why, because it feels like he might be joining the side of the Sakamoto family. But, yeah, like, we just, like, we got that, and then there was, like, we got all that stuff for one character, but everyone else was just kind of one and done, where it's just like, well, Jesus, you got bodied fast. But come to realize that was never the plan for them to stay that long. Fair, and that makes me feel a bit better. I do just kind of wish we got more. I wish we got just a bit more. And the trailers made me feel like these people were going to be a lot badassery. Like, you could have just hyped them up a little bit, like a tad bit, like a tiny bit. Like, you couldn't let them, like, go against some other, like, rogues. I mean, I guess they did, but not really at the same time. Because all of them just kind of went after both people from the Order and people in the Sakamoto family. And that all just kind of turned out to be like, oh, wow, okay, one and done. Except for the, like, string dude, who was the only one who seemed somewhat competent in all of his stuff. Which I was like, okay. But I'm beating a dead horse at this point with me just saying this. I will also say I have grown to slightly like that villain. I don't remember if we get his name, or I don't remember if we ever get like an actual proper, like, you know, if he is referred into any way. I'm pretty sure. I just don't remember. But I do like him a little bit just because we do get a backstory. And it's one of those backstories where it's like, you know, it's not like super strong, but I at least get it. It's one of those things that's like, it doesn't compel me to use that as a character, but it at least makes you understand you a little bit, and a tad bit sympathetic. A tad bit sympathetic. Where it's one of those things where it's like, it was just a kid trying. It's one of those sad stories where it's like, it's a kid that's like trying to understand, and like his initial like thoughts of everything weren't actually because of malice of anything. It was just trying to understand the world, which doesn't justify it, mind you. It doesn't justify it. I'm not justifying his actions in the show either. But it's one of those things where it's like, now it's more of those like, no, I get it. It's one of those like, it's one of those things like when you hear about like a serial killer, or you hear about like a very notorious person, and then you see how they grew up, and for it's always a broken home, man. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, don't get me wrong, it doesn't justify anything you did. But I understand where you got from point A to point B. It's one of the things of just like, yep, I understand it. It's not okay, but I do understand it. But it makes sense why, because Sakamoto, first of all, Sakamoto does a kill, obviously. So I wonder what the play here was. Oh, my dumb ass, I was always going to assume. Is obviously Sakamoto is going to try to change him, because it's like, no, I could see you're a good person. And to be fair, that does seem like the case. The only other person I say that might have been to that point is like the lady who kind of just sat there, was just like, I just want to be loved. But she's just seemed too far gone, where it's like, you know what, you might have started with maybe some good intentions, but not anymore. Now you've completely leaned into just the psycho bit of it, and now there's no redemption. At least with him, it's like, I can see where you're coming from, and for this show, I kind of get it. So obviously he tells them everything, tells them the plan, tells them like, oh yeah, we were just distractions. We were never supposed to last as long. It's like, listen, the fact that I'm still alive is honestly kind of a miracle. Which we find out that Slurm and his goon is gonna go to the JAA to try to destroy it. Which, I mean, somebody murdered those 400 people beforehand, so it only makes sense that the person who did that, which I assume was Slurm, is going to be the same person who's going to go to the JAA headquarters in Hokkaido. I think it's Hokkaido. Was it Hokkaido? I want to say it's Hokkaido. Kanto. No, Kanto. I think it was Kanto. I think it was Kanto. But whatever it is, he goes to their non-main headquarters, but a different like location, to go and like go ahead and slaughter everybody. And I like the presentation of Slurm. Like, we saw him a little bit, but I was like, he seems just like kind of edgy. But we see a lot more from him, where him and his partner, goon, I don't know what I would call him, but they're both just casually talking, like everything's nonchalant. And to be fair, it's a world full of assassins. At some point, you're going to get numb to this stuff. But we do get hint. I mean, I assume so, but we do get hint, obviously, that he used to be part of the JAA. And he plays it cool, where I guess if you go on JAA property, no matter who you are, you're just termination. Sorry, we gotta assassinate you. Sorry about that. But obviously, his goon, by the way, strong as shit. Man had a punch the hole. Not even a hole. It wasn't even like a hole. It was like disintegration. I was like, oh, okay, I see you. This is nice. This is nice. I like it a lot. This is cool. This is awesome. But yeah, that freaked me out. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like things got serious. Like I kind of perked up after that. And I'm like, oh, this boy's disintegrating people. Not putting holes through people. All right, he's not making them look like Ace. He's not making them look like Rengoku. Like, no, that was a disintegration. Oh, I was like, oh boy. And this is why I come nonchalantly talking about how, like, hey, it feels like the first day of school. You know, like you get those nervous, jittery flies. I'm like, brother, you're not, bro. Bro. You just murked the guy. You just disintegrated the guy. Y'all both talking like it's the first day of school. Like, you nervous about coming back to school with a haircut, boy? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Oh, and at that moment, I knew. Next episode might be kind of fire. Next episode might be a bit fire, because I sat there, I saw that, and I was like, oh no, people are going to die. And you know what? It might be people in the Sakamoto family. Now, I assume that's why the villain sided with them, is because he's probably the one that's going to be murked. He's going to be the one to set the example of like, yep, kill. So it's like, they're serious, because he's gonna. Oh, this is not good. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. First time in a while I've said this. I'm a little excited for a Sakamoto episode. Now, will they deliver? That's the big question, right? That's the big question we ask. Will they deliver? And I hope they do. Because I want to see it. I want to see them bring it out. Next anime that we have on the docket is going to be new Panty and Stocking. Again, I said this for the city animation thing. Same thing. Thought it was episode 5. It was not episode 5. This is episode 5. Previous episode was episode 4. Could change it in the title, change it in the description, can't change it in the video. Not changing the video. Too lazy. But yes, we are talking about the newest episode of Panty and Stocking, which is episode 5. It's episode 5. It's episode 5. And this one, I liked a lot too. Well, at least I liked the ending a lot. All the episodes were pretty good this time. There wasn't like the other one where it was like, it was okay, it was fine. The first one was kind of because the first one was just knee socks, and my God, I need to know the other sister's name, because I know Panty, I know Stocking, I know knee socks, and it's another word for the panty, but I don't remember the name very, very well, so I'm just kind of like, I don't remember. But it was the two devil sisters, and they were dealing with a sushi demon who was wreaking havoc on the city. Nisok's sister, the younger one, apparently was having backup problems with her colon, and it got so bad that she entered a devil form where she helped defeat that said demon, and everything went back to normal. That's basically the gist of that one, where it's just like, oh no, there's a demon, well I'm trying to poop, and you're getting in the way of my pooping, and so she destroyed her with her power of angry poop. Well, she didn't destroy her with the poop. It's just she was so mad that she wanted to poop that she used the anger to kill him, and then she pooped, and then she was fine. It's almost like she felt 10 times lighter. That's exactly what she said in the show. The second one was like I want to say it was a TMT reference, but it really wasn't a TMT reference. It was just like a turtle who felt abandoned, but it looked like it had Mikey's mask from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It kind of acted like Mikey a little bit, but it wasn't like really Mikey. It wasn't like really Mikey. So it was weird. But for some reason, I don't know why, but Garter Belt felt compelled to want to protect this turtle, which I thought was weird. And then after a while, the turtle just possessed Garter Belt. And Garter Belt was just like a possessed turtle. So I was pretty confused by that one, because then Garter Belt just turned into a kaiju, and then Garter Belt. Okay, here's my problem. Okay, here's my problem with this episode, because I was a bit thrown off by it, and I don't usually go down this route. But it was kind of one of those, what else do you want me to extrapolate from everything else? Well, basically what happened, Garter Belt felt bad for a turtle. Garter Belt got possessed by Ghost Turtle. Ghost Turtle and Garter Belt fused to make big kaiju. Garter Belt kaiju turtle went to the beach, decided to make ghost turtle babies that looked like the ghost at the beginning, but then had Garter Belt's face. And then the more babies he made, the more they just ran amok in the city, but they were doing illegal activity. And if you watch Panty and Stocking, Garter Belt is black. So I was very confused. I was like, are you making a commentary or are you just doing some stuff? I could not tell. But honestly, it was such a mild note to show. I was like, you know what? This is Panty and Stocking. This is the one show. I bring this up because anyone who looks at that and questions it, just like I did, just remember, it is Panty and Stocking. This is the same dude who, and I just found this out because I was watching Trash Takes, great podcast, of course, with Giguk and the Anime Man and Sea Dog, Joey Gaunt and Connor. But I think it was Joey and Gart who ran the expo for Panty and Stocking, where they revealed the first episode, and the creator got up, like, first of all, not the creator, maybe the creator or like the director, whoever it is, he's a wild guy, bro. This man went up in Japanese, apparently he got up on the stage on Anime Expo and was like, hey, I'm excited, who else has an erection? It's like, whoa, wait, what? And then he was like, let's load up our comb or some shit like that. I was like, brother, are we really? And you know what? It was at that moment, but even before watching this, because I sat there and that interview, not the interview, but that moment that they talked about that happened this year, mind you, only like a little over a month ago, came into my mind. I sat there, I'm like, you know what? This is a good example of not taking this show seriously. This show's just gonna do shit for the sake of doing shit. So, for those who are new to watching this show and you question shit like this and be like, oh, you making a social commentary on something? No, it's not. Don't think about it. This motherfucker's just doing shit to do shit. He is just doing shit to do shit. Do not think about it too deeply. Do not look in it too much. Don't read between the lines just because there's nothing to read. There's nothing to read. The best that you're going to see is probably some like a porn script. I'm not even joking with you. Like, don't read in between any of this because there's nothing to read. There isn't anything to read. This motherfucker's just doing shit for the doing shit. That's why I love this show. But just don't read into it. Just don't. Just don't. But yeah, the end of that story is Garderbelt goes back to normal. He has a date. But I guess there's one egg that's just lingering around. Will that come and play later? I don't think so, because it's Panty and stalking, and they don't do that type of shit. So, who knows? And then the final story that we have, which actually, not gonna lie, I very much enjoyed this one. It has been consistent throughout the 5 episodes that we have watched so far, that every single third episode, I wish was just its own episode. Because all of them are so good. They're so funny. They're actually, like, good concepts. Not to say that the other ones are good concepts, but it's one of those things where it's like, they're short because it's like, oh, this is how far we could take the premise. Got it. But there's so much ones at the last, like, this week's and last week's episode for the third one, it's just like, oh, the premise could go so much farther. You could do so much more with this. But I think also at the same time that's good, because it's more of that, like, show. I'd rather have more than too much, right? That I think that's the benefit. I'd rather have more than too much. But the story for this one is, I guess there is a serial killer that's going around killing all the blonde girls. So the police have to round up all the blonde girls and keep them all under one house. Obviously that doesn't work, but we find out that there's another ghost who is pretending to be the killer, but not actually being a killer. But we find out that the person who was originally the killer is in fact the blonde girl that we see in the beginning. And we see that in the beginning, it was actually a movie. And so I sit there and I'm just like, oh, this is actually a fun premise. I like this. Where, like, it gives me Cabin in the Wood vibes, where it got kind of meta about how horror stories work, right? Where, you know, it's always like the blonde girl who's considered like a slut dies first. The black person eventually always dies, but dies by fighting back or something like that. There's a stoner that always like wanders off and dies. There's the couple that always like goes away, and it's always like the Puritan virgin that is like saved. It's like, it's again, they even say it in the episode. It's the B movie slog stuff, and I actually like the premise because it like plays on that, where it's like yeah, I got typecasted so hard, where I played the role so well. All I did was B-level schlock, where I was always the blonde girl to go. I was always the blonde girl that was going to die. But I wanted more than that. So instead of being the killee, I became the killer. And honestly, okay, maybe it has happened. But the fact that a movie hasn't been made about that, of just like something like that, like a girl, like an actress who is just trying to like break out in the role and is so dedicated to wanting to be the killer in some way, shape, or form, that she becomes like, she goes too far with it, right? Like her drive to be a lead role or a bigger part of the story ends up becoming this like sycophant. How is this not a story? How is this not already a story? I'm bought into it. I need this. I need a story like this. Oh, it's such a good, like, I don't know if it's like, it's definitely not Oscar worthy, but it's at least a fun meta premise, right? It's a cabin in the woods. It was a fun meta premise. I would love that. Just a blonde girl who got typecasted and tries so hard to break out of the world that it just becomes her obsession. And now and the end of it, she ends up it's like a somber moment, because it's like, oh, it's happy. And she's so delusional that it's like she gets to be the person in the story. Oh, I need that. Now the question is, what blonde? Oh, what blonde? Oh, I need this so much. I need this so much. Oh, fuck. I might have to pitch this somewhere. Please, note this now. If there is a story like that, they took it from me. I'm saying that right now. They took it from me. They took it and it was my idea. I want everyone to know this right now. Okay? This story about the blonde girl who gets typecasted and gets so obsessed with wanting to be a bigger role that it becomes her obsession. She ends up becoming like a murderer herself. I need to copyright that. And if you see anybody else come up with that premise, it's mine. It's mine. It's mine. I haven't seen it anywhere. If it's anywhere else before me, fine. I concede. But if it hasn't, and it doesn't exist, and I'm the one that like, well, okay, hold on. I'm not the one that created this, because it was this show. But I don't think it's a movie. I think this would be a fun movie. I don't know which blonde would play that, but I think it would be a good movie. Okay, let's move on, because now I have gone on such a random tangent by myself, mind you. God, like no one else is in the room with me right now. So let's move on. Let's go to the next anime. Next anime that we're going to be talking about is Shield Hero Season 4, and I think we're on episode 5. I think we're on episode 5. And you know what? I might have to blame myself a little bit here for this, but like this episode was fine. Like this episode was cool. Like we see the end of the duel with Full, which I see. Here's my confusion. I didn't know what the brother's name was for the last like 2 or 3 episodes. All right, in fact, for like the whole of season 3 when they got first introduced. And my problem was I didn't know who the like what his name was. His name, which is Full, is very close to Philo. So the entire time I thought Philo's name was Full, and I never knew what the brother's name was. Because anytime they brought up the name Full, I swear to God they were talking about Philo. But I guess they weren't. I don't know how I missed that, but it's Full and Outlet, which is fine. It makes sense. But they go ahead, talk about their things, talk about their stuff, talk about whatever the fuck, you know. No, they don't talk about stuff. No, they don't talk about stuff. They fight. Well, they talk about like what's going on, stuff like that. Jarlath has converted a bunch of animals into being basically the same as him, so he's modified them as well. And he turns into a freaky beast, boy. I want to say that boy got tentacles coming out of his hair. He's got a go head now. It's demonic as shit. But I guess Naofumi got some ability where he could just turn somebody into a beast man, or into any beast kin, or any like hybrid kin person into like a beast man, which was kind of lit. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. That was kind of lit. I was like, okay, I see you now for me. Giving your divine blessing to the people, which was enough to convince the people of Siltfelt. Siltfelt. I remember the name. It was Siltfelt. And then the other place is Cutenlo. Oh, I remember now. Oh, so it's Siltfelt and Cutenlo. Okay. Oh, we're so back, baby. But yeah, I guess that was enough to convince the representatives of Siltfelt that, oh yeah, well yeah, of course you're the shield hero and you're our guard because apparently you got the divine blessing. Which I am so glad they just gave him the boat now. Thank God we're past this point, because I was like, boy, it's like if after this you still do the rigmarole, I think Naofumi has every right to just blow up Siltfelt at this point, because it's like y'all are not doing your duties as apparently the lovers of the shield hero. Please, before the whole shield hero crew just crashes the fuck out at this point. But yeah, it was nice because it was like the end of it, the end of the fight. Obviously, Full won. He went into beast mode, was able to get stronger, defeated the chimera-looking, disgusting beast that is Jarlath now. I think Jarlath is dead. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he is. But yeah, that he's gone. The person who gave him the drug is apparently gone. I suspect either it is somebody from Cutenlo who gave him the drug, or it's that stupid waste of space. Not mine. I think mine's the good one. But oh my God, I forget her name. But the redhead. I know her as one way, but I don't. This content shares on multiple platforms. I'm not gonna call her that. But she goes by a different name in the anime. That's how I know her as, which is very well deserved for the things that she's done. But yeah, I suspect it's either her or somebody from Cutenlo that has given Jarlath this drug in order to try to overthrow Siltfelt. But yeah, after that, it's just a lot more just wholesome stuff. Full and Outlaw got their home back, got their childhood home back, which is big as shit, mind you. They ate good food. Full was able to cook up some food that his mother used to make with the help of Nafumi. They finally get, and I guess we're not immediately going to Kyutenlo. I think what's going to happen is they need to decide a new crew that's going to go to Kyutenlo. So I think that now that Full and who else? I think now that Full and Outla have more or less solved their issues. Not solved their issues, but they've gotten a shit ton of development, because Outla got her development a lot in season 3, being able to get her eyes fixed and becoming stronger. And she hasn't really got much in 4 so far. So a lot of this also has to do more with Full and him being able to avenge his parents. So I don't think they're going to Kyutenlo. I think our main trio is obviously Nafumi, Raphtalia, Philo. I think those 3 are going. I suspect we'll be getting somebody. I have to assume that one of the other Cardinal Heroes has to be going, right? That feels like the natural progression of things. A lot of them are still kind of messed up, but I feel like that's logical. I also feel like we'll get a green-haired girl who's like extremely powerful now. I think we'll get her too. The other thing I want to say is I just kind of want to comment on the animation for season 4. Like, maybe I'm crazy, right? And someone can comment to me, but like, I think I said it before, but it was kind of more just a passing comment rather than me just focusing on it. But now I really have to focus on it. Does it feel like we got an animation downgrade? And I'm not trying to talk in the sense of just it's bad, right? This is not bad animation. Anyone who wants to call this bad animation, it's not bad animation. But it is standard animation. Like, it is like kind of like, oh yeah, no, like you can see the movement, you can see the dare, but they are using a lot of stills and they are using like a lot of stuff. It's not as bad as the beginning before the end. The beginning after the end. It's not as bad as that. That was a slide show. Like, at least we are getting actual animation here. But like before, when it was like season 3, oh bro, the fight with Raphtalia in the beginning, and I forget who, but I think it was the green hair girl who had the fight with the mime. I brought this up before. And like, those were really good animation points. And I remember people talking about that. They're like, whoa, when did Shield Hero get like pretty good animation? And I feel like we kind of went down a little bit. Now, maybe this is because of production time, because the time between season 2 and season 3 was like a couple of years, if I remember, versus now where we've talked about season 4. Like, we talked about season 4 last year. And now we talked about season 3 last year. And now we're on season 4. So that's my assumption, is that maybe there just wasn't enough time between season 3 and season 4. So it's just like, hey, that season 3 stuff we took a little bit of time for. Nope, not happening. Not this time around. Which kind of sucks, because I was super excited for it. And then I watched it and I'm like, well, it's not bad. It's just, it's not that sick shit for season 3. Which, I mean, like, again, it's not like a super big drop. It's not like we don't have speed lines and shit. We do have the little, like black screen going through lines and stuff like that. But I think that's just kind of a staple of certain anime stuff. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm indifferent. Maybe I'm weird about it. Maybe someone can comment for me. But I just felt like the animation was kind of lacking these last 2 episodes, especially for one episode was basically about a whole fight, and then this episode now was half of the episode was spent on the fight. So I'm just more wondering, like, it would have been nice to see a little bit more animation. But again, I wouldn't call it bad animation, but I will acknowledge that there has been a drop, which sucks, but it happens. Next anime that we're going to be talking about, I'm pretty sure, is episode 6 of season 2 of My Dress Up Darling. And oh, sweet baby boy, sweet baby girl, sweet baby Jesus, this episode, this whole season's been good. It's great. I love Gojo. I love Marin. What more can I say? I love it a lot. This episode was basically the finale. Well, not the finale of the series, but like the finale to the, what do you call it? What do we call it? The summer festival, the school festival, the summer school festival thing, where we have Marin dressing up as Rei-sama, Gojo helping out the whole student body, and it's just heartwarming. This whole thing has been so heartwarming, watching Gojo get his flowers, be appreciated, understanding that, you know, you can rely on people if you need to, it's fine, and seeing him fully accept that and fully embrace that. On top of that, there's a scene in this episode where Gojo is getting ready. It's like the second day of the school festival. It's the day when they have to do the beauty pageant stuff, and they have to get Marin's makeup, and everybody in class comes to see. Everybody comes to like look at how he like performs it with the cosplay makeup, and he's scared at first. And I get it, right? Like he went from like always doing it just him and Marin, and like he's done it at cosplay events, but no one's staring at him, right? Because it's kind of like normalized in a sense, where it's like, oh, he's just working on cosplay makeup. It's fine. That's what we do here. It's fine. Like no one's really gonna be tripping about it as much. But obviously, because he's at the school and his whole class knows the fact that he does all this cosplay stuff with Marin, and like they've never really seen that. I know a lot of the girls are just surprised that like a guy could do makeup this well. I don't blame him. I'd be surprised too, but like in a good way. I'm like, God damn, bro, how you not? Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. And Gojo, he gets nervous. He gets a little stage fright because he's never really had people admire or really like look at him work, and he's a bit nervous because he's like, damn, there's a lot of pressure on me. But then he also kind of realizes that like, hey, Marin's doing all of this and putting all this work, being all this. I gotta do the same thing for her. I gotta be her supporting character, just how she also has been mine. Even though Marin has messed up a couple times. But like, he lost the fuck. I've never seen that man so locked in this entire series. And I kind of loved it. There's this particular photo where I sat there. I'm like, this is the first time I could say that this man was order farming. I was like, oh shit. Oh man, this man was order farming. Like a god. But like, and it turned out so well because he goes into performance. Marin goes up stage. She looks great. She does a little performance. Everybody loves it. It's great. It pays off well, and I love it. And I love what they're kind of telling here, as with Marin wants to be supportive towards Gojo. Gojo wants to be supportive towards Marin. And like, both of them are having to understand that like, oh, maybe I need help. Maybe I need that. Because Marin's kind of the same way, where she tries to do stuff by herself, but she's clumsy. And Gojo, he could do stuff by himself, but he also tires himself out. So obviously the first whole episode was them working together, but now they're embracing it from their friends, from everybody else, and trying to be more reliant. But obviously the biggest supporters are going to be each other. So I hope they lean into the like whole like, oh, relying on people a lot more. And I hope it, I hope it goes past the cosplay stuff at some point, where they're not just relying on each other for the cosplays. They might be relying on each other more for the feelings and the emotions. If we get to that point in this season, oh boy, I'm gonna be happy. I need to see happiness from these two, because they're so goddamn cute, and I love the way that they interact. Seeing everything put together though, it was really nice. It was good. And seeing Gojo have his work admired like that was nice and appreciative. That boy deserves all the love in the world for being so worried and so hesitant, being like, oh, people are going to judge me, people are going to get worried about me, people are going to do this, people are going to do that. And like, obviously he's just in his head. And sometimes we all are. A lot of us could be in our head. I could get in my head when it comes to certain shit, but sometimes you just need to be reminded. It's going to be okay. There are people that love you. There are people that care about you. There are people that want to see you succeed. Not everyone wants to see you fail, but there will be people. But remember that you have supporters, and those are the only people that you should care about. Also, my God, the ending for this episode was funny too, where they all go to a karaoke space again, and Gojo and Marin, they both step out to to get some space, to get some air, and they like go around, do the arcade. Gojo wins a plushie for her, and Marin's like, oh, we don't really have any photos with each other, I see. And she wants to go take a photo, and you see all the guys come by, where like there's like the one like dude who teaches Marin how to like stand and properly like a guy. He comes out, and you see all the guys who try to find Gojo. And was just like, oh, have you ever used one of these booths? It's like, no, I haven't. It's like, oh, neither have I. And all the guys go in, and I thought all the guys pushed in, like, Marin and stuff like that, right? No, the guys just take it. Marin's outside. She's outside the booth. That killed me. Just seeing this moment where she's like, I get to have a special picture with Gojo. And all the guys being, which is funny, because, like, the blonde dude, who's like actually kind of aware, I thought he would at least be the savior. Which, to be fair, I don't hate this. Obviously, like, we're not at the point yet where we could do that stuff yet. I think the picture would have been nice. I would have preferred any outcome. This is just the funny one, which I appreciate a lot. It was funny and goofy, and I was like, this is cute. I see what you're doing here. And I like it a lot. It's funny. Yeah, guys, but another good episode. Another great episode. Man, is this on track to be the best romance? Okay, see, that's a hard discussion. Because part of me right now wants to put this as the best romance for this season. And I think if someone were to come up to me so far, if someone were to come up to me and say, I think I'm going to have this as the best romance for the year. Yeah, I wouldn't fight that, right? But for me personally, it's between My Dress Up Darling and Now Loon Generic Romance, because my God, was that romance good. But My Dress Up Darling has also been really, really good. And while I'm so in love with this and they're doing so well, Now Loon just hit me in a special way, man. I think if My Dress Up Darling is going to win Romance of the Year for me, and it's on track to already. We're only halfway through. Oh my God, we're halfway through. Oh, I think we're close to halfway through, if not almost. If not, like, we're right there. But Jesus Christ, saying that out loud just kind of got me. My bad. But if we get to a point where we're halfway, where it has to bring something big. Something big has to happen in season 2. Something big has to happen in season 2 for me to put this over Now Loon Generic Romance. That's where I'm at right now. Because I think right now, there's Now Loon Generic Romance was too much of an emotional roller coaster, of an emotional ride for me to really justify ever really putting it, like, not putting it in number 1 right now. Because I can't think of any other romance that right now hit the same way. Now, maybe that would change if Netflix decided to go ahead and not gate lock Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity in Netflix. And I said it before, yes, I know I could pull a One Piece and watch someone else. I don't want to. I want it to convenience of Netflix. But regardless, I pay for that service. But regardless, right now it is between Now Loon Generic Romance and My Dress Up Darling. And I think right now, Now Loon still holds the spot. But I believe in My Dress Up Darling being able to pull something out. If not, it definitely is going to be top 3. I just can't think of anything else other. Maybe the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity pops it out of 2. But I can't think of any other romance that really tops those 3 for me. Unless I catch up to the Bunny Girl Senpai series, which I did watch the first season of the movie. I just have not watched everything else yet that connects. That's why I just not watching it this season for me. So maybe there's a lot of good romances out this season. But regardless, it's a good episode. I hope we get more good episodes, and we'll see. We'll see where it stands. Right now, it's giving me peak. But we'll see how it comes when we hit the end of September. Next anime that we got on the docket is Kaiju number 8 episode current. Listen, the episode count is going to be right there, obviously. So I forget which one this is. Recording me will not know, but editing me and post-editing me will know. So whatever that number is, right there, whatever that number is, you'll know. But yeah, this is the episode right after Kafka was able to transform and took care of the other Kaiju number 9s. It's like, oh, cool, yeah. And I was like, and you know what? This is my fault. Because I forgot. How this moved. And I'm not gonna lie, put him on a stamp right now. This is the best episode so far of the series. The entire series. This is the best one because you know why? They did such a good job with this. Now, I will admit, I thought we weren't going to get to this. Like, I still thought we had like a couple more episodes of build and stuff like that. And maybe there was, and we're just speedlining the fuck out of this. Especially now that the manga's done. But, oh my God, they did such a wonderful job. Because I think the biggest discussion around Kaiju number 8's adaptation, right? And it's the one conversation I've always seen, I've always heard, and it's pretty consensus. You've heard me talk about it multiple times, right? It is the tone. Where the manga is a serious tone with a bit of comedy, and that aspect has been reversed from comedy, more comedy, to pockets of serious moments. I think this is the one situation, and because it sucks, because the whole thing is that basically Nanami, Shinomiya, and Kafka all deal with their sides of Kaiju number 9, only to find out that neither were the actual main bodies, and that Kaiju number 9 had bigger plans. Now I forgot that was his. Plan. I know at some point this happened, but I completely forgot how this happens, and I'm so glad I did, because I'm like, oh, that's right, that boy infiltrated like a motherfucker. Oh, I forgot. And so we see Kaiju number 9 going against the Commander Shinomiya, who is also the main Shiomiya's father. Which, I'm not gonna lie, man, they put so much emotion into this. They put so much emotion into this fight. And I will admit, I am just a sucker for a parental sacrifice, because it's like the biggest form of love that you could give to an extent of the extreme, right? It's like the extreme form of like, I am sacrificing a part of myself, or I'm sacrificing my life to ensure that my baby child, that I grew and raised is well and safe. And they also play him like pretty well here too. I think they do it a bit better in the manga. They hint more of it in the manga, or play it off better in the manga, where you see him all the time, like he's just like such a hard ass with the way he treats people, even to his own daughter and stuff like that. But it's also one of the things of just like, listen, this is a world full of kaijus. This is the Kaiju Defense Force. Yes, you are my daughter, but also I need you to understand this is a tough situation. This is not like, I can't just baby you. If anything, I have to be harder to you, because I need you to understand, if you want to join, if you want to be a part of this is going to be a dangerous world that you're going to be in, and it's going to throw you around and chew you up if you're not ready. And if you're not ready, that's a failure as me, not as just a commander, but as like a father. But obviously, Shinomiya have shown that she's capable of that, which her father is proud of. And then and so with him, God, I will admit, they play it so well in the anime, man, because it's just him going off being like, listen, I know I'm old and I can't handle shit, but I've seen what the current Defense Force can do with like Mina and Hoshido at 3, with Nanami, Shinomiya, and Kafka at 1, and everybody else that's been putting in the work, and we've been doing these things, and they are adapting, but we do have a Defense Force that I think could like not only change the tide, but finally put an end to all of this shit. And so it's one of those things where I'm just like, damn, that is like that. They play it up hard, and the animation goes hard as shit, mind you. That animation went fucking hard, boy. That animation went fucking late. Oh my god, I loved it. I loved it so much. It was good. It was great. It made me happy. It almost made me tear up. It almost made me tear up, because you could see the thing with like some of these things that also loses a bit of attention is, well, not loses a bit of attention, but like it doesn't have the same impact, is that obviously like they're winning, and there's always a feel that you know that they're going to survive. But it also is, I think it was one time that I'm glad I read the manga, because it was one of those things where it's just like, well, I don't know. Am I happy? Because I knew, you know what? I think, well, I'll take that back. I think not reading the manga did hinder me a little bit, because I think I might have cried. I would have cried if I didn't know the outcome. But I think the fact that I even got close to crying and a little teary-eyed watching Commander Shinomiya actually fight for his squadron, fight for the city, fight for his daughter, fight for his wife's memory, through all of that, but seeing that it was a losing fight and him giving his all despite it, was like, oh, they did so good, dude. Did they so good? I swear to God, these last couple of weeks, people will just assume I cry at anything. I don't, man. I really don't. I can count probably on my hand the amount of anime I have actually cried at. It's not much. And I can't even count Kaiju number 8, because I didn't cry at Kaiju number 8. I just got teary-eyed. I did get emotional, I just didn't cry. But I can count probably the amount of times I have cried at anime on my hand. But it's just intense, dog. It's just a lot. It's a lot. And they did such a good job. Now, here's the question that I have, right? Again, I brought up the conversation of tonal shift, how the anime is more comedic and less serious than the manga, and the manga is vice versa, right? How, if we got this tone all the time, right? We got that serious tone from the manga, because they haven't shown that they can't do serious. They can. We've seen it multiple times. I think this is the best display of it, but they have had serious points where it has mattered, and it is good, and it is intense, and it is well paced, and it's well good. But the serious conversation I feel like that now we need to have about Kaiju No. 8 is, if we had this tone all the time, right? Would it be better? What if we got the manga from the tone? Would it be better? Because on one hand, I can see an argument of the comedy bits make you feel like they're closer than they are before because they're so goofy, but they're able to get serious in times where it matters. But they're able to be goofy and friendly, which makes them show a bit more camaraderie, right? Versus something that is more serious, where it's like, oh, well, we get the level of severity and we get that emotional impact, maybe all the time, but it might also water it down in a sense of an anime. I don't know. That's an interesting conversation. It's a conversation that I think is worth having. I mean, it's already been happening, but I think at this point, now that we've gotten something that's this serious, it makes you think, will the show take a tonal shift now that this big thing has happened? Will it take a bit more of a tonal shift, and are we going to see more serious moments? Because I know it's coming. And so I'm very interested to see how that will play out and that will go. It would be very interesting for me to see, and honestly, I'm here for it, man. I've already liked Kaiju No. 8. I said it was good. This is probably the most I have to talk about with season 2, just because for me, it's like, yeah, this happened. It's good. It's great. It's awesome. But now we're really getting into the nitty gritty of things, and I really enjoy it a lot. I really enjoy it that long having that conversation. So it is a good conversation to have, and I think it's a conversation worthwhile having. So yeah, it's the discourse in that regard. Now, I really don't know how I stand about it. I'll have to see the lingering effects, honestly, for me. I think right now, I'm okay with the way the anime does its pacing. I'm okay with the more comedic and sometimes serious pockets of stuff. Because I think it still has the same impact, it just gets different effects. Like, they do it, like, different path, but same reasoning, or same impact. Next anime that we're going to be talking about is The Summer Hikaru Died. And oh boy, first of all, this was a pretty big episode within itself. But we are now gone to a direction within this show that I feel like I wasn't expecting, but I feel like I should have. Actually, not even that I should have. I've been talking about it, and it's just the natural progression, right? That we get to that point, and we get to that questioning. Well, I feel like I don't know. I don't know why I've said that before. We were getting to this point pretty clearly. I think I just wasn't expecting it to be so heavily focused on, and just more focused on him moving on and him processing things, in a sense. So I guess that's where I am at most likely with that. But this whole episode is basically Hikaru, Yoshiki, which I'm glad I paid attention to that, their friend Asuna, and their other two friends, which I should remember their names of there. But they all spend the night at Hikaru's place. They all do the little like summer firework thing, the typical episode with that. There's one bit I do want to mention, just because I found it so funny. Just hearing Japanese voice actors do the English parts, or do English, the English part of whatever story that they're doing. It's always so great to me. I enjoy it because the accent mixed with the English is just fucking, it's just like, yes, I fucking love it so much. But they're all doing the thing, the summer thing, having the fireworks, having the hand crackler things, it is very much your typical thing. There's 2 points in here that I think are interesting. One is that Yoshiki goes up to Hikaru's old room, or Hikaru's current room. This Hikaru's current room, Jesus Christ. Oh, just so much like before and afters. But Hikaru's room, and he looks around for the game, obviously. He gets flashbacks of certain things with his dad, going to the fireworks and all that. But one thing he does find is something that I think Hikaru wrote before he died. And I think it has something to do with the mountain, and so obviously he takes it. That's going to come into play. It says something like something Indo or whatever the hell that is. I'm not 100% sure, but that is in fact the case. And then the second thing, which was the big thing for this episode, was the fact that at one point, it's the summer, it's hot, so Asuko and Hikaru both go to get ice cream. Now, I thought this was... Okay, so here's what I thought was going to happen. And I was kind of surprised. I thought this was going to be some sort of love triangle thing, right? I thought this was going to be a thing where Asano maybe had like a thing for Hikaru, being like, oh, you've been so different, but also like I've been like paying attention to you a lot. And I thought Asuko was going to pull the moves on Hikaru. And Hikaru was going to get like either overwhelmed because he didn't know how to react to these feelings, because obviously he's not the same Hikaru. He's only been a human for like so long. And he was going to be like, okay, yeah, it's not, like, maybe something was going to happen to a point where he feels something, but it's not the same. And he's like, oh, it's not Yoshiki. Like, I understand, like, what you're trying to do, but, like, you're not Yoshiki. And I don't feel the same. Like, I thought he was going to have, like, some type of panic attack and hurt Asuko. And I was like, only, like, one, like, millionth right? He did end up, well, he didn't hurt Asuko, but he tried to hurt Asuko. And that's because, and I kind of wasn't expecting this, Asuko revealed that she also has had a hunch that the Hikaru that came back from the mountain was not the same Hikaru. And that kind of blew my mind. I'm like, oh, we're adding another layer into this. And so she reveals that, and then Hikaru goes to confront her, tries to do the same, like, cover mouth thing, or, like, absorber, like he tried to do with Yoshiki back in the classroom. But Yoshiki finds them, and he sees this, and he's just like, what were you trying to do? And he just straight up admits, like, oh, yeah, I was gonna murk her. It's like, what? Wait. And he basically explains it where it's like, well, just because you pass away doesn't mean that you pass away. And, like, on the surface, right, this sounds really bad. Like, it sounds very just monster-like. And Yoshiki is also just like, so what about me? Because you wanted to do it to me, but then you didn't want to do it to me. So how is this playing out, big boy? Why am I special to you? And he's just like, well, I don't know. I'm gonna miss eating ice cream with you. And it's like, oh, so that's it. That's all that matters. They're like, very simple thing. And I kind of get it, because, it was just like, oh, so it's like human life to you isn't special, just I'm special. But why? Is it like ulterior motives and stuff like that? And so Asuko wakes up and she's like, oh, I knew you weren't Hikaru. You must be possessed. It's like, sure, let's go with that. That seems like the less panicky answer to give you. And it plays into it because we also get a flashback of the fact that Asuko does have some ability to sense ghosts. It's not similar as Yoshiki, where Yoshiki has Hikaru, but Yoshiki can't really sense ghosts. He can, like, see it if they attack or manifest, stuff like that. Well, that's not true, because he also saw the thing in the forest, and he saw the thing there. So there's, like, a level of awareness in terms of seeing spirits. Now, to what degree, I'm not 100% sure. But Asuko has, like, a different aspect, where her grandmother taught her, like, that the world of the living and the world of the dead overlap with each other. And when you see a spirit, that does not necessarily mean that the spirits are bad, because not all spirits are bad. Some are here to protect us, some are here to save us, but there are some that can be dangerous. And no matter where you come up against one, all of them are going to be fearsome. So it's better to just play it safe and stay away than deal with anything. And so Asuko apparently did not heed her mother's warning and decides to confront Hikaru about this, even though it's like, hey, you probably sense the fact that it is. You're the one that actually has like a power due to that ghost and is aware of that power. So if you know that that's the case, you should probably just keep your mouth shut. Just keep your mouth shut. Although I do understand where she's coming from. Where at first she sensed it and then she was a little bit worried. But her demeanor does change now that I think about it, because she's been aware that she's the one that actually brings up the fact that Hikaru has been latching a lot onto Yoshiki ever since he came back from the mountain. Which is her indication being like, oh, okay, well, maybe he's protecting whatever's possessing Hikaru is latched onto Yoshiki, but in a good way. So I kind of get why she tried to confront him, being like, okay, hold on. You don't seem like you want to hurt people. You don't seem like you want to hurt Yoshiki. So what is the deal and what is happening? And apparently, Yoshiki and Hikaru just play this off. It's like, oh, well, I sound crazy. And Yoshiki's like, no, I believe you. But, like, you know, it's fine. You should head back because you're about to pass out and all that stuff. Yada, yada, yada. And Yoshiki also just breezes by Hikari. Doesn't address anything. It's all weird. It's all awkward. And this is where I can kind of understand where Hikari's coming from. Because he explains it where it's like living, dead or alive, the soul keeps the same shape, right? The soul keeps the same shape, and like when you pass away, you're not really dead. And this whole episode was basically addressing the fact of, well, what makes you human? Is it your memories? Is it like the personality? Is it the experience that you share with people? Or is it just the soul? Like, is it just the soul of the person? This also comes into question why Hikari cares about Yoshiki. And it's very interesting to think that while this entity has taken over Hikari's body, and the whole assumption has been assumed that he's just kind of taken over his mind, and so there's residual memories, there might actually be some type of thing, right, inside that is actually still alive within Hikari. Like the Hikari before the Hikari that we see now might actually still be in there. So there's a whole lot to explore here. And I really like this episode because it's now put it into a place of what does it mean to be human. And I love that type of concept. It's always good. So I love the fact that we're delving, like we've already kind of delved into that with like him saying, well, is it the same Hikari? Is it this? Is it that? But now we're really getting deep into it where it's like, okay, well, is it like the emotions? Is it the experiences? Is it just like the actual looks? Because for the longest time, there are some people that didn't know. And even with Asuko, she knew, but it's only because she had senses. But everyone else didn't know. So what makes you a person? Or what makes you the same person? Like, and Asuka also brings up the same thing of like, well, our cells change after a lot of years. The cells that we had 5 years ago may not be the same cell construct that we had back then. And does that make us different? Like, what makes us, like, what in our core of a human condition and the human life does being human take? This is gonna get real existential real quick. It's gonna get real existential real goddamn quick. But yeah, there is definitely a lot to take in within this episode, and I like it. I love it. This is what I expected from this show, and it is delivering hardcore on that aspect. So yes, more of this, please, and more of that beautiful, 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 beautiful animation. Because she's good. Next anime that we're going to be talking about is With You and the Rain. It's just more wholesome fun. More wholesome fun. A lot of this episode actually surrounded itself, Jesus Christ, I can't talk today, surrounded itself around her brother, her twin brother, who was also quite the cutie pie. Which also got me a bit. I thought it was going to be like, that took me off guard, but I was like, they're twins, obviously. Well, you see, like, he's got a wife, and he's got a kid coming around, so it's pretty cute. It's pretty cute. I like it. We see how, like, the Tanuki raccoon dog thing is just freaked out and just being like, you're the same, but not the same. And I don't understand that, which is fair. I wouldn't understand it either, doggy. I would not. Dog, damn it! This anime's getting me. It's not a dog. It's a goddamn raccoon or tanuki. I just call it a dog for the sake of it. This anime is turning me. I'm going to end up, watch, by the end of it, I'm going to end up calling it a dog. It's easier to call it a dog, but I know it's not a dog. It's a goddamn tanuki raccoon son of a bitch. Motherfucker. But yeah, for like first part, the tanuki raccoon dog thing hangs out with the brother. And I bring this up because at some point they go on a walk to go to like to the park, we usually see a setting in the park, and we actually see the return of the doctor. And I want to question it because there's a lady that comes by being like, oh, what kind of mixed dog is this? Maybe the doctor will know. And the doctor from the first episode we see comes back and he's like, oh, it's you again. And he looks at it, it's like, and he's like, I'm a dog, right? I'm a dog. Just say I'm a dog. And the doctor goes, it's like, this dog, it's a dog. And it's like, I know it's a dog, but what breed? And the like raccoon tanuki thing's just like, thank you. question is, what does this doctor gain from protecting this dog? Like, what is the point? I get the bit, but what is the point of him protecting the dog? Like, I don't know if it's like, damn, I should make this dog happy, or man, this dog really needs a home. Maybe I get that, but it's also one of those things that sit there. It's like, what the fuck? And also, we have seen previously that Fuchan doesn't care. She doesn't care whether or not it's a raccoon dog or not, because I'm not gonna lie, if it convinced me it was a dog and it was doing all those cool things, and I found out there was actually like a tanuki or a raccoon, I'm not just gonna throw it out. It's an animal that I can speak to. And sure, it can't talk back, but it can write. Do you know how cool that is? Why, on God's green earth, would I throw away, even if it was a raccoon? And people have raccoon as pets. This is not an abnormal thing. It might be a little uncommon, but it's not abnormal. We have seen raccoons become pets before. So that's why I'm like, why are we just calling it raccoon, call it tanuki? Why are we calling it a dog? Maybe it's illegal to own a raccoon in Japan. Maybe that's the case. Because I know America, we allow some crazy shit to be pets, man. We allow some crazy shit in the States to be pets. So maybe you just can't have a raccoon as a pet in Japan. I don't know. I'm taking a wild guess. But I just sat there and I'm just like, dog, not like actual dog, but like, bro, why are you protecting this dog? Cat, raccoon, fuck it. Let's move on. Let's just move on. But while that was one part of the episode, the other part was seeing the little guy actually interact with a new type of animal, which was the cat. And all it wants to do is just like be friends and stuff like that. But obviously, cat is going to cat. So cat is being a little standoffish, being a little bit of a punk. Not punk. Punk's wrong. Because the cat wasn't even being mean. It wasn't like the corgi who was like, yeah, no, screw you, dude. It was just like, I'm just minding my own space. I'm just going to sleep. I'm just minding my own space. And like the tanuki kept just being pushy. But eventually, like, we have some cute moments. It was a good lesson, and sometimes if you want to match people's paces, you gotta meet them halfway somewhere. Where it's like, hey, right, you're not vibing with the energy I'm giving off, so let me match your energy. And you know what? You might find some cute things. The thing I'm learning about With You in the Rain, right, is that it's not an anime that has an overarching message, but it just has some little messages, right? Where it's like, you gotta meet it halfway. Sometimes people have their own vibes, and you just gotta understand it. And I think, maybe that's the overarching thing, because you can apply it to a lot of stuff. But like, it's nice to have somebody just match your vibe, right? And like match it and be cool and be chill. And I think that's what I love about the show, is that it's all about a show where you gotta match people's vibes. And I fuck with it. I fucks with it a lot, man. It's good. It's cool. It's chill. I fucking love it. It's great. It's enjoyable. It's fun. I'm always happy watching it. Oh yeah, we even see like the cat stuff play out more, where Fuchan goes to the brother's house and brings over the tanuki raccoon dog, and obviously the cat's like, being a cat, but he remembers. He's just like, I get it. Gotta play a little bit more into you. Gotta match your energy. I get it. I understand it. And so, like, honestly, it was very cute. It was a very cute thing. It was like, they're getting along. Yeah, they're getting along, and they're being super cute. That's adorable. It's adorable. They're adorable. Both of them are adorable. They're adorable, little, cute, weird fucking things. Well, one's a cat. The other one's I still don't even know. But it was cute. It was adorable, and I liked it. It was fun. Again, I'm never going to have much to say about With You in the Rain. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Most of it is just going to be recapping it and saying how cute or how wholesome something was. But like I say, I will always say it every week, just to remind you guys, sometimes it's just good to be wholesome and it's good to be sweet. You don't need to complicate it. And I appreciate it. I would end so somber with these things. No, but be wholesome. Be wholesome. There ain't nothing wrong with being wholesome. That's how I'm going to end it. Be wholesome. And now we are in our spring leftovers portion for this week in anime. And surprisingly, we only have one thing to talk about. I don't know what happened, and you may have noticed from the summer anime as well. Anna Shirley, keep doing that. Anna Shirley and Gachiakuta are just not around for some reason. I have no clue why. I don't know why it's happening, nor do I really know like what exactly happened at the time of the recording, and because I usually do 2 sets of recordings, being a little transparent here. I usually go all my shit Saturdays and Sundays, edit it on Sunday and put it on Monday. And for some reason, yeah, Anna Shirley and gachiakuta, don't know why they aren't around, but I guess we'll just only talk about these ones. If they come up, sometime later on Sunday, that just happens, unfortunately. But we move on. So the only anime that we have this week that we're talking about for spring, the spring leftovers, is To Be Hero X. And we have a lot to talk about. And we do have, in fact, a lot to talk about, because To Be Hero X episode 19 gave us everything that I needed, all the answers, but also new questions that I'm very intrigued about, which I am very, very happy, because this episode finally put us in what it seems like all the stories are connected. It's all linear now. Like, episode 18 was kind of like that final connection where everything is finally coming all together to pieces. And now it seems like we have one cohesive story where all of them have met in this conjoined area, and it is paid off so well, because now it seems like we have like the main people that we follow, not like all of them, but obviously there is the bunny girl, there is Shadowblade, there is little Johnny, Shadowblade's daughter, I forget her name, but there is a set of people that we are now following, I assume, for the rest of the season. And we finally get to the whole alien ship that they're talking about. We see the aftermath of everything that happened in the forest. It seems like Disco, the Disco guy, is now gone. Obviously, it's because Shadowblade took care of him. And we find out that, oh yeah, Shadowblade's secret mission is to assassinate little Johnny. And so they all go investigate this ship and whatnot. And it seems like Shadowblade's actually going to try to attempt it. But throughout all this, which seemed like just like a very normal episode, the ending of this episode, or at least like the end, like towards the end of the last 5 minutes of this, is the big talking point, because Isol and have both finally come back, and I got what I wanted. Now again, I'll bring up the same thing that I brought up before, the whole conversation of, okay, now that we finally got here, I am getting what I wanted. What does make me happy, but it's no longer a question of if we will get there, because we've already gotten there, which is good, and I like that. But now it's turned into a question of, okay, is how we got there efficient? In hindsight, I can't admit, maybe I was being a bit pushy, but at the same time, I think I'm at least somewhat valid, if not majority. I feel like I'm like 70% valid for feeling the way that I did. Regardless, though, I do want to focus on the positive, is the fact that we now have Isol and Nyaight added onto this main story. Everyone that we have is finally here, that we have been talking about for the last few months of this story. And I am very, very interested, because it definitely seems like this Isol is definitely changed a lot with his suit. It doesn't seem like the same suit that it was back in the original Isol story that we got, but it does seem like it's still Yang Chen, the person who took over the Isol after, that whole big fight that we have, which does make sense. The dude who is kind of doing all these backwater deals was friends with that Isol when he was taking over that Isol position. So it does make sense that he would be in close proximity. My big question is Nyaight, because the last time we saw Nyaight was with Isol, and the last time we saw Nyaight, he was getting shot. So I'm very curious how that's going to play out with everything, and how that is going to affect the story going forward. Because the theory that I have right now, I think, is this Nyaight is not the same Nyaight. This is not Lingling. This is not Lingling. I have the feeling, because it feels like his demeanor is different, I don't think he would be engaging in the same way. Or if it is Lingling, he's had to have some type of mental altercation. Maybe something has changed, and that's all. That's a massive possibility, realistically. That is a massive possibility that this Lingling that we see right now, he's changed. He's not the same. He's completely different. Like, where it's like it's still Lingling, but his whole personality has he's either become so jaded, or he's kind of realized what actually, people can change. But I don't feel like this is the same Lingling at all. And you know what? I could sit here, I could have the whole conversation and discussion about how, oh yeah, how we got here, like I brought up before, like how the storytelling was good, if the pacing was good. Honestly, I'm just happy over the fact that we finally did get here. With still so many more episodes to follow up. And we still don't know how, like, the X of this, the current X in this timeline, how he plays into everything. Oh, I have so many questions. I genuinely do, because now we see that there's like two sides of the hero world. I'm so interested. I'm locked back in. I could say that with 100% confidence and 100% certainty. I am locked the fuck back into To Be Hero X. I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. I can't wait for it. I did hear a theory. I think it was somebody in the comment sections. I do forget your name because as of recording, I can't look it up. But they are slowly becoming a cool person for this channel over in the Clips channel, where, you know, if you want these in bite size or you want to focus on something a little different, you could go over there. Links in the description. But they were talking about how the 2D and 3D was changed, not necessarily for budget, but because of who X is and how he's implemented, which is possibility. Now, I did read over the fact that this was a budget restraint because it was really expensive to do that, but obviously people could lie and like play it off. So if they were to bring it back for him, I would be so excited, because I could see him maybe coming back. Maybe he's sided with Isol and Nice and playing into their stuff, because that would be so cool. Because it does seem like we're having like a good and bad, right? Where the good of like the actual heroes is Little Johnny, Queen, Lucky Cyan, of the Bunny Cyborg Girl, or the Bunny Suit Girl. That just sounds wrong. But the Bunny Power Suit Girl. There we go. That sounds a lot better. With the Bunny Power Suit Girl. And then obviously there's like the Underbelly and the Seagull, where we have Nice, we have Isol. Maybe X plays into that. I would have to assume so, given the fact that he kind of came out of nowhere. It feels about right that he would associate with himself with that type of crowd. But I'm locked in. I'm locked in for these next couple of episodes, man. Well, not couple. I think this is a 24 or 25 episode series. So we have, I think, like six more episodes, which, to be fair, does sound right. We are halfway. Oh God, it sounds so, we are halfway through the season already. Jesus Christ. Feels like I'm only barely getting into this season. But regardless, To Be Hero X, locked the fuck back in, gave me what I wanted, finally answered the questions that I've been going off on for like a month and a half now. So I am very happy, and I'm very excited on what like the course is that we go here. And that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for this week of the Anime Cavalcade. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and of course, as always, leave a comment down below what you thought of this week's episode and any of the anime that's been coming out this week. I sometimes watch stuff on the side. This is just, you know, the weekly stuff that we watch. Also, of course, you know, I have a main channel where I do the anime reviews, and I'm trying to do manga reviews, potentially trying to expand my horizons. So go subscribe to that and all the other projects. I might be putting a little music project out there soon, so go check that out. And also, please go support Infinitycast. This is the company that allows this show to keep going on. That's great people. We got great things coming soon, so please go check them out. Everything is in the link in the description down below. Anything you need, any type of information, it's going to be down there. Thank you for joining us this week. My name has been Mise. I hope you've had a lovely time, and I will see you guys all in the next episode. Love you, and have a safe day.